I'm Dunia Borga with Duni, and we're here today to show you how to make an angel food cake. And we got Brandon here today. He is a student at Dallas College Culinary Schools, and he's going to be my assistant for the day. We're going to start with some egg whites that are going to go into the mixer. I am using a stand-up mixer today, fitted with a whisk attachment. You can actually use one of those hand mixers if you want, but for me it's just so much easier to do the stand so I can have my hands free. In the meantime, I am going to have you sift the flour with the sugar into here, so we get rid of any lumps and we add some air to that, okay? Right. While Brandon does that, we're going to throw the egg whites in here. You're gonna mix them in to, you have a little bit of air into those egg whites, but not fully, before we add our salt and our creme of tartar. So there we go. I am going to raise up the speed a little bit so we can go faster. You do want to make sure that those egg whites are at room temperature. That way it gives you more air into those egg whites. It helps it a lot. If you have cold egg whites, it just takes twice as much and you may not get as much air introduced into them. That room temperature really, really helps with the airiness of your egg whites. If you can see, it's starting to do a little bit of some foam on top. You still see some of that liquid on the bottom. You can see it inside, and you can also see it on the side of the mixer, that you still have some of it there. Once that's happening, I am going to lower the speed of the mixer. Reason being is when you add your salt to it, if it's going too fast, you're actually going to get it all over the bowl instead of just into your egg whites. And then we add the cream of tartar.
And what is the cream of tartar?
Cream of tartar actually adds a little bit acid to those egg whites. If you don't have any, you can actually use lemon juice. You have a little bit left there, try it. Just put your finger on it and then taste it. You feel that acidity to it?
Yeah, it's super acidic.
Yeah, that acid actually, if you notice, once we added it, those egg whites, they start getting white and they start gaining more volume. That's what the acid does to it. So we're raising up the speed. And this is gonna go a lot faster once we added that acid to the egg whites.
And when do you put the vanilla in?
You see how we no longer have any liquid of the egg whites on the bottom. They're almost all incorporated, and it starts being almost like shaving cream. This is when you actually start adding your sugar before you add the vanilla to it. So we start adding the sugar, and we go slowly because we do want to incorporate that sugar into it, not to all end up on the bottom of your bowl. And the slower you go, those crystals mix into the egg whites, and it actually doesn't break those air pockets, and it stays just airy and fluffy. If you throw it all at once, the crystals of the sugar will break those egg pockets and it will collapse. So you want to go slow with it. You see how it's starting to look a little bit more like shaving cream? Yeah. It's almost there. We're going to try to make soft peaks with this. We don't want to dry out your eggs and have hard peaks, so we're going to do the soft peaks. We're almost there. And the last thing you do is you add your flavoring to it.
Is vanilla the only flavor, or can you get other flavors?
Oh, you can add all types of flavors to it. You can do a little bit of orange rind or lemon rind that will give it those citrus flavors. You can add almond extract, lemon, strawberry, whatever you want. I always add the vanilla to it because I like the vanilla flavoring, and then I go ahead and add whatever other flavoring to it, okay? I like to trick a little bit the mixture and just lift it up a little bit, finish mixing it, and then turn it off. Off it goes. And you got those soft peaks right there. Now you mixed the flour with the sugar. And if you can notice, you still have a little bit of that sugar left over. Don't worry about it. What those crystals are, they're too big. So we don't want them into our cake. We want that cake to be fluffy and not with any crunchiness to it. You asked about different flavors. If you wanted to make this a chocolate cake, you just add 1/4 of a cup of cocoa when you sift all of this together. Have you ever folded anything into a batter?
No.
Okay. Folding it, what you're doing is you're actually putting some of the flour and the sugar into it, but you do not want to deflate at all those egg whites. See, you go like that, all right? So you do the folding, I'll do the pouring. You do want to take your time doing this. You do not want to overmix it because you'll deflate those egg whites. And that air is what gives that cake that fabulous airiness to it. And if you overmix it, you lose that volume. Fold it all in. You want to make sure you go all the way to the bottom and lift that up and then twist it around. There you go. Perfect. Then we add the rest, and we are done. Now, we can use, for this recipe, you can use a big mold like this one, or 2 smaller ones. There are 6-inch ones like this. We are going to pour it into a big one today. When you get your molds, you want to make sure they have these little legs. And you'll see why when we get it out of the oven. But you do want those legs on your mold. You got the batter.
Yes.
We're ready to pour that in. And, make sure you do not put any oil, any butter, nothing into that mold. You want to make sure it's fully clean because you want those egg whites to grab onto the mold and not deflate. You need that mold to be clean so they can grab onto something while they're in the oven. If you can see, you still have a little bit of that flour and sugar mixed in it. Don't worry about it. We do want some of that in there. Thank you for twisting that. We got it ready. It's going to go in the oven, 350 degrees. We've preheated our oven for about 45 minutes. Okay, our timer just went off. The cake has been there for about 45 minutes.
Yep.
Do you think it's done?
How do you know if it's done or not?
Well, the first thing is you got to smell. Do you smell that vanilla or anything in the oven?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, so then the next thing is we want to check if it's ready.
All right.
Well, it looks like it is. It looks pretty gold on the outside. The top of it is golden. You want to touch it and make sure that it doesn't sink down. You feel that springs up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it is still hot. What we're going to do is we're going to turn it over. And you see why I told you about those little legs?
Yeah.
It actually keeps the cake suspended, and the gravity makes it not collapse, okay? So we're gonna leave it like that, and you cannot cut it, you cannot touch it, nothing, until it's fully cooled. So you wanna put that over there, and we actually have one that has been sitting around, and it is fully cold, ready to serve. And we are going to plate it. Sometimes it gets stuck on the side, so you may want to do with the spatula around so it comes off. If it doesn't turn over at the first thing, you turn it and you press a little bit and it should come off loose. There we go. Okay. This one, because of the high humidity we've been having, sometimes it collapses like that, but no big deal. Hand me some powdered sugar. We're going to make this beautiful. We are going to add some powdered sugar. You want to cut some strawberries for this?
Yeah.
Why don't you slice a couple of strawberries? We're gonna throw some strawberries on it. Toppings for this cake, the amazing thing is you can do whatever you want. You can do cocoa, you can do powdered sugar, you can do chocolate syrup, whatever you want. My sister absolutely loves caramelized apples, and in the fall, it is fabulous to just caramelize some apples and throw them on top. So we got that powdered sugar, and we are going to add some strawberries to it and make that cake look beautiful. But the best thing is pass me that pick that looks kind of strange over there. A friend of mine just said that it reminded her of an Afro pick, which is perfect. Sometimes you wonder, what is that for? This is actually how you cut an angel food cake, because it does not collapse the cake. You actually tear it, and you break it up, and you tear that one little piece, and if you can see, you see the airiness to it?
Yeah.
That's all those egg whites and that air that you put into it. We're gonna add a little bit more powdered sugar to that. If you have it in the morning for breakfast, I actually throw it into the toaster oven, make that really crispy and brown on top, and oh my God, it's absolutely incredible. You got some strawberries, and we're ready to eat.